Have you used questions to improve your oral test score? In fact, this is a powerful technique to create connections with your examiners and be rewarded with higher communication marks. Let's see how it's done. Welcome to SmartPathSG, where every student can learn, grow, and succeed. This is episode 2 of our 3-part series on English oral SBC practice using real PSLE 2023 stimulus. 4 things we'll cover today. First, how to choose your personal experience wisely. Then the WEFR framework for structuring your answer, followed by 2 model answers. And finally, the key vocabulary and follow-up prep. Now, question 2. Tell us about a place of interest in Singapore that you have visited or would like to visit. The conversation has widened, moving from the specific exhibition we saw in question 1 to places of interest in Singapore more broadly. The single most important decision before you start answering is to choose a place you can speak about with genuine feeling, not the most impressive sounding one. Authenticity scores higher than grandeur. If you name the Art Science Museum but can't describe a single exhibit, you will freeze on follow-up questions. That hurts your score far more than picking a simple place you know well. Structure your answer using WEFR. W, where and what the place is. 1 or 2 clear sentences. E, experience. What can you do there? What did you see, hear, or feel? Use sensory details here. F, feeling. How did it make you feel? Or why do you want to go? This is where your personal voice shines. R, reflection. What did you learn or take away? What bigger thought did it spark? Now let's look at a model answer for a place you visited. One place I have visited that left a deep impression on me is Gardens by the Bay. It is a sprawling nature park that combines stunning plant displays with impressive technology. The cool air of the flower dome was a shock after the heat outside. The cloud forest with its enormous indoor waterfall felt almost unreal as I walked through the misty greenhouse. I remember standing under the super trees during the light show at night, feeling in awe. One of those moments where you feel proud to live in Singapore. It made me think about how important it is to preserve nature, even as our cities grow. Gardens by the Bay shows that development and greenery do not have to be at odds with each other. Notice how the W sets the scene with specific detail. Sprawling park combines nature and technology. E uses sensory language. The cool air of the flower dome, the misty greenhouse. F brings genuine feeling. Standing under the super trees at night, feeling in awe. R lifts to a broader reflection about development and greenery. This is not a brochure. This is a personal experience. Now here is a model answer for a place you'd like to visit, the National Museum of Singapore. A place I have not yet visited but would very much like to is the National Museum of Singapore, our oldest museum, which tells the story of Singapore from its earliest beginnings to modern times. From what I have heard, there are interactive exhibits, old photographs, and artifacts from the Japanese occupation. Visitors can immerse themselves in the different chapters of our nation's history. I think I would feel a deep sense of connection to my roots visiting a place like that. I believe it is important for young Singaporeans to understand where we came from and the sacrifices that were made. Visiting the National Museum would help me appreciate what we have today. Notice that not having been there is completely fine. W establishes it as our oldest museum. E draws on what the student has read and heard. Interactive exhibits, old photographs, artifacts from the Japanese occupation. F imagines the feeling of connection to roots. R lifts to the importance of understanding history. The answer is personal, specific, and reflective, even without a first-hand visit. Again, the fastest way to elevate your oral test score is to upgrade your vocabulary. Nice or beautiful becomes breathtaking, stunning, or awe-inspiring. I felt happy becomes I felt a deep sense of wonder. Interesting becomes thought-provoking or eye-opening. It is big becomes sprawling, expansive, or vast. And many people go there becomes it draws visitors from all walks of life. One technique that AL1 answers use: draw the examiner in with a question. Instead of stating, the cloud forest has a waterfall inside a dome, try, have you ever walked through a rainforest waterfall indoors? That is exactly what the cloud forest at Gardens by the Bay feels like. That rhetorical question creates connection. It shows you are communicating, which is exactly what the examiners are looking for. 4 follow-up themes to prepare for. What was the most memorable part? Give one specific moment. Not everything was nice. Would you recommend it? Say yes or no with a reason, and think about who would enjoy it most. Does Singapore have enough places for young people? Show broader thinking. Variety, affordability, accessibility, clear position. How important is it to preserve heritage sites? A values-based question. Think national identity, history, tourism, sense of belonging. Preparing 2 or 3 sentences for each of these means no follow-up will catch you off guard. A powerful technique for AL1 answers. Use sensory language, what you saw, heard, felt, even smelled. Sensory detail is the difference between a description and an experience. The cool air of the flower dome was a shock after the heat outside. That single sentence creates a vivid picture in the listener's mind. This is exactly how you engage the listener. Let's recap what we learned today. Choose a place you know well, a place you can speak about authentically, not the most impressive one. Structure your answer with WEFR and spend most of your time on experience and feeling. Use sensory language, what you saw, heard, felt. Engage the listener with at least one rhetorical question. Prepare 2 or 3 sentences for the most likely follow-up themes. In next, and our last episode for this series, we tackle the hardest question, opinion and discussion. See you there. Thanks for watching. Head over to SmartPathSG.com to play our free PSLE practice game, or join our community for more tips and resources. Don't forget to subscribe for new videos every week.